I'm Ayla, and welcome to Sinister Dynasty.
Yeah, getting into it. Before I hop into this case, Ayla was just saying something before that we cut out. I said it already. With the...
I've completely forgotten.
Oh, God, okay.
It was like not even 30 seconds ago.
Literally not even 30 seconds ago. But basically, I say a lot, as you've probably picked up. I definitely say a lot. So Ayla's flatmate, what did he tell? What did he tell the
He said he should have brought a box of beer. And every time you say he was gonna have a drink.
You'd be pissed. You'd be wasted.
And if you don't drink, grab a glass of water. You will be extremely hydrated by the end of this.
You'll be getting up to the loo multiple times during the night. I said it again.
Don't worry about it.
Should be right. I'll figure it out. What's this? My 4th episode, so I'll figure it out. Then maybe this is my chance to shine.
Good things take time.
We'll get into it. Yeah, definitely take a lot of time. Okay, no, I'm just gonna stop focusing on it. But basically, so I have looked into this case as suggested by one of our new listeners now, because he said that if we did this case, then he would listen to all our episodes. So this is why I'm doing this case.
Yes.
So I was saying before in our cut-off version, which you should pay for because we need supporters, I said it again. I just need to stop focusing on it.
Don't worry about it. She'll be right.
Yeah, but basically, so this case was quite recent. This was back in 2009. This is a bit more recent than what I'd normally do, so I said that I'd look into a bit further. But it was really interesting to actually have a read of it. So the case is, the case is about Jan Molenaar. So he was, this was back in Napier. Jan.
Is that his, full legal name? Jan?
I don't know. I didn't look into so much the names then as what he actually did.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah. The case is on Jan Molenaar. He was he was brought up in Napier, Hastings, so up in the North Island. He was also adopted as a newborn by the Molenaar family. So yeah, adopted into the family in his last name.
Do we know much about his birth parent?
No, I didn't really look into that, in all honesty. I just saw that he was adopted as a newborn, and I was like, cool, I'll just take... Because if he was, I reckon, focusing on the adoption, if he was adopted, at a later stage, then maybe I would have looked into it a little bit more. But he was literally adopted as a newborn. Born to that. In the 1980s, so he was joined the Territorials. So in the 1980s, he joined the Territorials. Mum actually explained this to me as, army stuff. Yeah, Army Territorials. Yeah, and he settled down in Napier again with his partner, where they had their son. Right.
Ooh, very good.
So yeah, he's got a son. The son, so it didn't actually work out the relationship with Jan. Oh, I'm saying all good. You're just going to get really drunk this episode, guys.
Or hydrated.
Yes, or hydrated. But yeah, so the relationship between him and his then partner didn't work out, so the partner and the son moved up to Auckland.
Oh, that's a fair way away.
Yeah, so fair. Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I've never been up north.
It's a little bit of a drive. Definitely more than a couple hours. But yeah, so he then became a bouncer, and around that same time, he started seeing his new partner in Napier, Delwyn Keefe. So that's his new partner, Delwyn. So
that's a cool name.
It is pretty cool, actually. So it's saying here, I found this, that he would go to the gym. He did take steroids for this, so he was quite big, muscly, but he didn't drink, smoke, or do drugs.
Oh, God.
The gym. Oh,
disgusting.
Yeah, we did try the gym for a little bit and didn't really work out for us.
Yeah.
Maybe if we'd taken some steroids, it would have been different, but I don't know.
I don't think so. I'd still hate the gym.
Yeah, no, that's fair. We'll just look buff and hate the gym. Yeah. So I also found that he had a big hatred for gangs, and delving into a little bit further, his brother, one of his younger brothers, he actually committed suicide while taking methamphetamine. P. Probably quite a bit of the hatred that Molenaar had for the gangs came from by the looks of it, the gangs had actually made P, they'd manufactured it. So he directed, if P hadn't been around. What are you laughing about?
I thought you said games, and I'm sitting here what? What games?
No.
Like video games? Board games? No, gangs.
Gangs, yes. G-A-N-G-S. Oh, God.
Oh, far out.
But yeah, again with the so take a sip. So that's where probably some of the hatred came from, is perhaps if that drug hadn't been about, then maybe his brother might not have committed suicide, because it's quite a strong drug. It's pretty.
I think
not from personal experience. I'll let you know. But yeah.
I think that's something that, everyone who's lost a loved one to that kind of thing,
they want to blame it on,
struggles with.
Yeah.
I mean, fair. You blame it on what you need to blame it on.
Exactly, yeah, and it's your coping as well. Fair enough. Yeah, fully fair. Fully understand that. Jan Molenaar, same person. If I say Jan or if I say Molenaar, I'm speaking about the same person. He had a few run-ins with the mongrel mob himself, I believe. He was also quite scared about people breaking into his house too, probably due to those run-ins.
I mean, I'm scared of people breaking into my house.
Yeah. Well, you've got your cat camera now. Yeah. He also had a dog. We love dogs. He also had a dog, and he walked his dog at the same time every day, which was very cool.
We are a fan of this.
Love routines.
Animal
love dogs.
care.
I can't wait to get a dog. I'm so excited. I'm very excited. But also, and 2 weeks before this dark thing happened, which I'll get into shortly, the police had come over to his house at around about, I think it said 11 o'clock, and this had annoyed him quite a bit. They came over because they thought that he had a drug, weed, cannabis little operation going on.
You know what? That'd annoy me too if the cops came around at 11 o'clock, because I'd be asleep.
Oh, exactly. You can see that. I'd again be quite annoyed. So anyway, we'll get on to the event now, which is what you've all been waiting for, other than our humour. So on Thursday, the 7th of May 2009, the Senior Constables Grant Diver, Bruce Miller and Len Snee went to 41 Chaucer Road. Chaucer. 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 I think it's Chaucer Road. I should have done this
sounds
before
like
speaking.
that.
Yeah, but went to 41 Chaucer Road with a search warrant. So again, probably looking into that drug operation that they thought Jan had going on.
Yeah.
So remembering back, Jan walks his dog at the same time every day, right? So he was gone. He wasn't in the house. This was in the morning of the 7th. And Delwyn, his partner, answered the door. And she advised them that, once she figured out she had the search warrant, but it looks as though she was like, okay, well, there is weed in here, I'll show you it, there is weed here. And so there was some in the bedroom and the basement, it says here. She also said, though, that Jan would have been real mad, ropeable was actually the word that she used, when he found out that the cops are in the house. Again,
obviously he had drugs in his house.
Yeah. Yeah. There's that too. That too. She also said that he had a gun though as well, and so she warned the senior constable. She was like, okay, you guys need to leave. Fair enough, that's quite scary. Police are trained for this though, but they're still quite scary. So around this time, Lenny Holmwood, so he's a friend of Jan's and Delwyn's. He'd just come over. Apparently, he'd had a night on the piss the night before, so he just came round for a bit of some banter, really.
Banter,
yeah. A bit of banter, as you do. Again, this is
got a debrief after a night out.
Yeah, it's again normal. So by the time Jan came home, there was Keefe, the 3 senior constables, and also Lenny Holmwood, the friend, in the house.
Oh, yep.
And by this time, Keefe had shown some place in the house. So the officers had found cannabis plants and also a sawn-off shotgun.
Oh,
so there's a little bit. Yeah,
that's not just any gun.
There's a little bit going on. Yeah, so Molenaar was very angry because he'd been caught, and also because police were in his house as well. So he went down the hallway, and they were like, okay, cool. But then he came back with a rifle.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So he tells the cops to get the fucking hell out of my house. And a cop says there's no need for that. And then Keefe, so Delwyn Keefe's partner, said you should get out, basically. Like, you should get out of this house. So all of them left the house, and they were going down the driveway. We'll show you a photo of the house with this episode. But so there's the driveway, but it kind of goes upwards onto the road. So they were going up the driveway to get to the roadside.
She's using her hands.
You can't see my hands.
She's talking with her hands.
I'm talking with my hands. So their house, it's like a 2-story house, and there's a balcony and stuff, so you can see the road from the balcony. But you actually, to get to the house from the road, you have to go down a sloping driveway.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so they're walking up the driveway to get to the road.
Yeah.
So by the police vehicle, so 3 cops were there, the 3 policemen.
Did they all come in one vehicle?
Yeah,
okay.
they did. I'm pretty sure it didn't say anything about multiple ones. Police van, actually, I found.
Okay.
So Senior Constable Len Snee, he actually hesitated when they got to the car. So the others were going to hop in, but he hesitated by the sounds of it. And then Molenaar said, I fucking told yous, and fired 2 shots at Snee straight away with his gun, because he still had it pointed at him, and one of them hit the Senior Constable Len Snee in the neck, and straight in the neck.
Crikey.
Yeah. And so
it's not ideal.
No, definitely not ideal. And so Molenaar was on the balcony, and he'd shot those shots, and then he started coming down the stairs, like the outside steps, to get down to the driveway, and he was still shooting, and he shot at Miller and Diver, and so he hit Miller in the back.
Yep.
And he hit Diver in the arm and in the groin, so they both fell down as well. So all 3 of the cops are on the ground by this point. At this point, I think Miller called for backup, and the armed defenders squad were actually nearby. They were doing like a little, they were just nearby.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were nearby, which was really good for them. So they were nearby. So Delwyn said to Jan, you shot a fucking cop. Because he shot multiple cops. He shot 3 cops. And he put the gun down and said to her, you go, it's over for me. And so, of course, she's freaking out, but he just said, like, you go, like, it's over for me. And then he went back to Len Snee and shot him again in the hip.
Wait, Len's his friend?
No.
Oh.
It's Lenny. His part's coming up soon, though. So he went and shot Len Snee, Senior Constable Len Snee in the hip. He was already lying on his back near the road at this point. He then headed for the other 2 cops who were crawling to safety. At this point, though, Lenny Holmwood's like, pretty much, you could probably figure out going through his head, like, what the hell was this guy doing? So he runs up to Jan. Remember, Jan's quite a bit bigger than him, because he goes to the gym quite a bit.
Yeah.
I was saying gym, you say steroids, probably a bit of both. So he tried to take the rifle off him, and there was a little bit of a fight, but of course, again, Jan's bigger than him, so he pushed Lenny over. Lenny fell, and then Lenny fell, and then Molenaar shot him in the, it says left thigh, but also hip, so I can't recall. They're pretty much the same thing. Anyway.
It could be pretty high up towards the hip, but still on the thigh.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so he got shot there, and then, but in that struggle, the Miller and Diver, the other 2 cops, are able to crawl to safety.
Good.
Yeah, they were able to crawl to safety. So after this, Lenny, the friend, started cussing at Molenaar, and he was like, you shot me. Like, yeah, fair enough again.
I would too. I have to say I would too.
But just him stepping in there, though.
Yeah.
Super brave. Stepping up to his friend.
You wouldn't expect your friend to shoot you.
Oh, exactly. So he probably thought that there was that.
But then again, I wouldn't expect my friend to shoot anyone.
Yeah, well, you'd hope not. You really hope not. So yeah, which was really awesome. He was just able to step in and help those cops really crawl to safety. In that time, they were able to crawl away. They did have some support as well. So I saw from a source there that some motorists picked up one of the police officers, and another officer was like pulled into a house. But then I heard again later that the motorists were cops or something, and there was some public involved, also an ambulance. So I'm not too sure what actually happened there, because there's a few.
But they got to safety.
They got to safety is the main thing. They got to safety. So Holmwood was cussing him out, of course, and then he crawled towards Senior Constable Snee on the ground, and while Jan was climbing back up the steps to the balcony. So that gave him a little bit of time until, of course, Jan came back up to the balcony, and Lenny was able to call for help on 111. And at this point, of course, Jan had got to the top, and he was just keeping on firing shots, because the armed defender squad was there too now, so he just kept on shooting.
Yeah.
And it was so imagine how scary that would have been. Like, you're next to a senior constable on the ground, you've just fought your friend with a gun, and you've had 2 people crawl to safety, and now there's so many shots firing above you. So pretty
yeah, that's pretty intense.
all in all, yeah. So he continues to shoot, Molenaar continues to shoot, and Holmwood's able to get away with some help. However, the police and the public weren't able to recover Senior Constable Snee's body.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was so they weren't able to recover that. So at this point, Jan hauled himself back up into his house.
Yeah.
And he still kept firing shots, like he just kept firing non-stop in his house. So they weren't like, he was stuck in there for a while because he just kept firing shots, and the police obviously couldn't go in because he kept firing, and they didn't know the house and everything. So the negotiation team arrived, and they kept trying to contact Jan, but they couldn't get a hold of him through his landline or his cell phone.
Yeah.
And because he just wouldn't pick up.
I mean, I don't think I'd answer the phone either after
fair enough.
shooting how many people?
But also they're a negotiation team as well, so you can see that they want to, they're there to help both parties. But
You would have seen like TV shows and stuff though. They negotiate. This is based on TV shows.
this is based on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I haven't watched that.
Oh, you should watch it. It's good.
Anyway, they negotiate them to the point where they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to get away with this. And they catch them.
Yeah, that is true. So maybe he's watched a few episodes. But yeah, so at 11 p.m. they'd got Keefe, so they got Jan's girlfriend at the time to call Jan. He must have known that she was going to call him because he picked up the phone.
I mean, caller ID.
Well, yeah, there's also that too. But 2009, like, I don't know what was on a cell phone and what wasn't. I don't know. Anyway, so he was sounding quite tired, quite beat up himself, but also like pretty defensive about what he'd done. And so moving on from that, the negotiations failed, and Jan ended up shooting himself in the head on Friday the 8th of May, so a day after. Remember though, at the start, that he was quite scared that people were going to break into his house.
Yeah.
So it actually took the police, by the looks of it, again, I'm not too sure how true this is, but it took police almost an extra full day to get into the house, because he'd wired the whole house with booby traps. And
Whoa.
like he'd punched holes into the wall so he could see, if he saw somebody he could shoot them, kind of thing. And he'd wired up door handles. Like, it was quite extensive apparently what was inside the house. So
It's like extreme paranoia.
yeah, but it's just quite scary really, and especially because looking at the house, it looks like any house would really on the outside. Like, it just it's very, very interesting and very scary.
Yeah,
inside that.
that's
So,
crazy.
and the full siege from when he started shooting to when they found him the day after took 51 hours, the whole thing.
Crikey.
Yeah. So when I learned all of that in one day, I was like, what?
I need a glass of wine.
Yeah, or a few.
Yeah.
I should listen to my first episode and get drunk
down.
Yeah, so It turns out though that Jan wasn't on the police radar really at all. So
I wonder how that came up then. Like, I wonder if someone laid a complaint or did like a anonymous tip or something. How did the police even get to hearing that he had weed in his house?
That's the thing though. So there was actually, from the looks of it, they just kind of smelt some weed around when they were doing like They were doing this was so they smell a little bit of weed when they were doing like a patrol or something. Again, I'm not too sure how true that is, but that's what I've read somewhere on the internet.
I think that's bullshit.
And so but then they looked into it. Then they looked into the address a bit more, and then from 1995 there was an anonymous letter, like you said, there was an anonymous tip saying that Jan, who was in the house in 1995 as well, he'd been selling drugs. Some of it was to children too.
Ooh.
And there was also some guns there that the person who sent in the letter thought might have been stolen.
Oh, goodness.
But so this was found by a detective. I need to try to find his name. Detective Superintendent Rodney Drew. So that was found by him. But he also found that it didn't look as though any further action was taken after this. So there wasn't really anything else on the file.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, it wasn't anything. So Jan, he left her suicide notes.
2?
Yeah, so he left her suicide notes. Yeah, so his girlfriend confirmed that they were his writing and everything as well. The first one said, "I was bad. I paid for my crime. I let everyone down. I know. J.M." So signed his name at the end. And the second one said, "I love you, Del. You were so loyal, a faithful person. I did my best to make you happy. Love, Jenny Mo forever."
Aww.
Yeah.
Pretty.
Not the situation.
Not
at all. Yeah.
She sounds like a lovely person.
Yeah. And also, his gun license had been given up 15 years ago. He was given it up. But at the time, and this was confirmed on the police website too, not the number, but just the range of them, there was 17 firearms on his property.
That is so excessive.
Yeah, and it said on the police website that what was mostly used was high-powered military-style rifles and shotguns to shoot at the police in public. So he used a range of stuff. Yeah, so he was
so unnecessary.
Yeah, well, unnecessary. You shouldn't have any to shoot at anybody.
No.
I'm not going to get into the gun thing because I don't know much about it, but you should not have a gun if you intend to shoot people.
Yeah.
That's just my logic. I don't know about you, Ayla, but
no, same.
Yeah.
People, don't shoot people.
Yeah. And so Delwyn said that she didn't know that that Jan had the guns.
Oh.
But she did say at the start though that he did have a gun. But I'm thinking maybe the rest of it.
So maybe she knew that he had one gun.
Yeah.
But not 16 more.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to work that out in my head for a second. Out of that 1 plus 16.
1 plus.
Yeah. It's easier doing it 16 plus 1. So Delwyn was given a sentence of 2 years and 3 months for her part in the weed operation, the cannabis operation that was happening.
Far out, that's not
41
much.
Twister Street. Yeah.
I mean, not that that's... I'm shocked because generally sentencing for weed is stupid long.
Yeah. I've never actually looked into it personally about the stuff there, but
all right.
Well, no,
don't make people question my background.
Oh no, sorry, that's just me. No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it that way. But it's just, it is. Yeah, for her involvement in that is a bit low. But yeah, so the detective, Rodney Drew, again references that Jan thought that his house was being watched. And probably, so when they conducted the search, when the senior constable was conducting the search before they went to the house, he probably thought in that time frame, he's like, oh, I'm definitely being watched by the police kind of thing. So maybe that could have brought him to do the house, like to have the house like that then, or maybe he'd done that prior. I don't know.
I'd assume that if he had such a hate for gangs and he had been involved, he had that run-in with the mongrel mob, so I'd assume it would be. Yeah. But that's just assumptions.
Yeah, we don't really know, like we don't. No, we're just reading we're just saying what we read off the internet. Pretty much. That's what we're doing. But yeah, and the Rodney Drew, the detective superintendent, he also said that apparently Jan had told his friends that he wanted to go out in a blaze of glory, quotation marks. Like he literally said blaze of glory. I was like, I mean, successful, I guess, with the house being set up the way it was, but yeah. And what else happened here? So the coroner, David Crerar, sorry David. The coroner, David Crerar, said that a major failing in both deaths was the lack of knowledge that the police had before they entered the property, because there wasn't much there.
I mean, with a search warrant, you've got to go through a judge to get a search warrant, so they must have had something.
Yeah, but by the looks of it underneath, apparently the public or people surrounding Jan knew that he was dealing weed or had dealings with cannabis, and they also knew that he had some guns, and they also knew about some of his violent tendencies too, but no one had said anything, so the police, by the sounds of it, went in there with just a lack of... I
mean, who's going to actually admit that they narked?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so obviously there was a anonymous tip. There'd have to be. There's no way that they'd get a search warrant just off speculation.
Yeah. So, there was that. Again, quite interesting. Well, interesting is the wrong word, but yeah.
I mean, it sort of is interesting in the fact of how paranoid he was.
Yeah. Also his background, and then also like leading up to it a couple of weeks before the shootings as well.
Yeah, and the extensive booby traps.
Yeah, the very extensive booby traps that literally took fully trained police, a day to get into the house and find him.
Oh, I wonder how they even did that, because that'd be so...
Yeah, that'd be crazy, eh? That'd be so scary.
I mean, would you throw like a big teddy down the hallway?
Like... I had one of them. We should have sacrificed Nigel. Here you go. My ex gave him to me. You take him. You take him. So Jan, though, it says that Jan was a really just loving person and a big softie. Yeah.
Softies don't shoot people.
Softies don't shoot. Softies don't shoot. Yeah. There you go. The detectives thought that Molenaar thought of himself as a hero who was standing up to the gangs, because he hated them, by the sounds of it, like he hated them, so he's doing. So his dad, Paul Molenaar, had said that Jan did have a little temper, but often his girlfriend Delwyn Keefe could calm him down. Otherwise, he was usually quite calm, and he was also quite good at negotiating. So again, at the end, he didn't talk to the negotiating team, by the sound of it. So yeah. But there was also that whole big thing that happened beforehand. So
the event.
Yeah. And his mum Anna also said that Jan wasn't aggressive growing up at all. That was growing up too. So again, he could have, by the sounds of it, he had violent tendencies as well after growing up. So there's that too. And Delwyn, the girlfriend, said that Jan only ever took the odd puff of weed. So he didn't really... Yeah.
You can't be a drug dealer if you're smoking your own stash.
Yeah, there's that too. Yeah, and Peter, Jan's brother, I should have mentioned this, Jan had 4 younger brothers, no older ones, and Peter was one of them, and he said that he was not heavily involved into anything other than tinnies. Little container tinnies, yeah. So Peter also said that Jan had just come back from his walk, remember, with the dog. So maybe he'd been pumped up on adrenaline from that, and that caused him as well. But again, it might explain something. It doesn't excuse it. It doesn't excuse it.
Yeah. Oh, that is so out the gate.
Yeah. So going to the victims now, though. So Senior Constable Snee was a husband, and he was a father, and he was a friend to quite a few people, it said. And this was represented by thousands of people showing up to his funeral, and one of those thousands was Senior Constable Grant Diver, who I'll get to shortly. But you can see there's like a photo, and Mr. Diver's on a hospital bed with the coffin being pulled out, so
It's
still quite heavily injured after the shooting. So Senior Constable Snee was the 29th member of New Zealand Police killed in the line of duty. He was the 29th person. There's also, I found as well, a Len Snee Cup for rugby in Australia, which is pretty cool.
What is with cops and rugby, eh?
I don't know, but that's pretty damn cool.
my last case had that as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with the they turned his baton into a trophy.
Yeah. Very, I don't know, very Kiwi, Aussie thing, but pretty cool. Pretty cool memoriam for it. That's pretty awesome. Other than, no, that's really cool that they were able to do that. So Senior Constable Grant Diver, who was at the funeral, he was shot through the arm and the groin.
Oof. So
he had to crawl away and find a place to be safe. Really, he was a police dog handler. This is really sad too. His dog Fee was in the van at the time of the shootings because she didn't come in with them, and they couldn't get her out for I think 30 hours, more than 30 hours. So she was stuck in the van with the gun, with the shots, and not knowing where the Senior Constable Diver was.
Awful.
Yeah, I think they were okay after it. Like they got reunited and everything, but
I hope she got to retire.
I don't think she retired after that. I don't know.
I couldn't imagine she would have, but she deserves to.
Yeah, freaking crazy. And so he was shot through the arm and groin. Senior Constable Bruce Miller, the other officer on the place, he was shot through the back, and this went through his bowel, and it ruptured his spleen and damaged 3 ribs. And he'd been in the force 18 years at the time as well.
Crikey.
They both went back to work quite a few months after, but they both went back to work after that, which he just went back and got on with it, which is really, really respectful. It was awesome. Back in 2012, Miller and Diver were asked if they would pledge their support for blood donation, and both confirmed yes. So now's a little place where we can talk about blood donation and how important it is, and everyone, if you feel comfortable or up to it, should really
I did not expect this.
Well, you should, because they had to get like a lot of blood.
Yeah, so I donate blood. I'm O negative, so I'm a universal blood type. So every opportunity I get, I donate blood.
Nice, that's awesome. Well, that's what you guys should do too. I'm pointing at the phone that we're recording on. But yeah, no, really, really, really cool. And that's probably a very very large factor of why they're both alive, is purely due to the donations that everyone been giving with blood, which is really awesome. And going back to Lenny Holmwood, the friend that came over for a bit of bants after a night on the town, he was shot in the hip or the left thigh, again same place probably, but different descriptions, and he spent 18 days in hospital due to the damage the bullet caused.
Oh, crikey.
Yeah. He'd sometimes buy weed from Jan, probably the tinnies.
Yeah.
He was also awarded a Bravery Star for his actions, which is New Zealand's second highest bravery award.
Good.
Yeah. And 4 other policemen will also receive the Bravery Star for their part. So these were Detective Sergeant Tim Smith and the Armed Defenders Squad members Constable Michael Byron, Senior Constable Dennis Hurworth, and Senior Constable Paul Simmons. And there was also 9 others that received bravery awards, just probably like 3rd and 4th rankings of them too for the event. Yeah.
My last case had this also, but they give out them things to everyone, don't they?
Yeah, apart from, by the sounds of it, Lenny definitely deserved it.
Yeah, Lenny definitely deserved
Lenny
his one.
definitely deserved his one. And so
I'm not saying that the others didn't deserve them, but
there's
like,
some things.
That's what you sign up for, being a cop.
Yeah.
Like,
well, it's also good to be rewarded sometimes though.
Oh yeah, positive reinforcement.
Yeah, there you go. And this is what happened as well with probably a few other cases I've looked into. There was a movie.
Oh my god.
So the movie was called Siege, and it was in 2012.
How do you spell that?
Siege. I actually watched a little bit on the couch a couple days ago, like when they were acting out the shootings. I think it actually won a few awards for it.
Where did you find that?
I just the movie or
Yeah.
the information about
No,
it?
the movie.
Oh, I just googled it.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, so just Google Siege 2012, and there's like a little. You can watch it's like a couple minute video of the shootings and Senior Constable Snee getting shot. You can see like the acting, obviously the acting of it. But I said again. Damn it! How drunk are you guys? How drunk are you guys?
Or hydrated.
Or hydrated.
How many times have you peed?
But yeah, there was a movie, and it was pretty good. The acting of it.
Oh,
I have
cool.
to say, yeah, a couple minutes. So
I might-
definitely worthwhile. I'll have to give that a watch. I
Yeah,
think.
same.
Yeah.
We've got some popcorn. Maybe we should do that this other.
Ooh, I've got icing sugar too. Top tip: put icing sugar on your popcorn. You'll thank me.
You will also get diabetes.
Probably. Worth it. It was so worth it.
Sacrifice I'm willing to make.
I need to do a diabetes test actually. I wonder if I've got it.
I doubt it.
I doubt it, but I'm going to do it anyway. But yeah, so that's the story of Jan. Well, not the story of Jan, sorry, just the story of what happened on the 7th of May 2009. And I really do hope that Senior Constable Len Snee is resting in peace, and by the sounds of it, he was a really well-loved man.
Oh, definitely.
Really,
Especially with the numbers that
Yeah.
showed to support.
Yeah.
Celebrate
yeah.
his life.
And yeah, just being in the community all the time, having that rugby cup named after him too was really awesome. Especially
Yeah.
in Australia, not even in New Zealand, like in Australia.
I wonder if that is actually named after him.
Oh, it says Len Snee, and it's on Google. No, I have to look into it a bit more. That's what we can post on Instagram, maybe a little bit more about the cup. Get Chris to do that. Thanks, Chris.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah, no. So that was. Have a look into it. We'll post on our Instagram, and
Facebook.
and TikTok. We have a TikTok account.
Yeah, check that out.
Yeah, we'll
You know,
post.
that's not fun. That's very difficult to
It
do.
will be soon. We're gonna do a TikTok dance. That's what we're gonna do next.
Yeah, we're going to do a TikTok dance.
Yeah. But no, I'm Andy.
And I'm Ayla.
And that was
Sinister Dynasty.